Hello everyone, welcome back. Today you're going to be seeing multiple days all at once because I am freezer meal prepping for baby number 6. And we are trying to get as many meals into the freezer as we possibly can before then. Because mom is having her 6th C-section and daddy doesn't have much time off of work. So we are trying to get the ball rolling early, and I'm trying not to do it all at once so I don't wear myself out. So you're gonna see many days of me prepping meals for when this baby comes. We're trying to stock the freezer with easy meals so I can dump and go in the crock pot, the Instant Pot, put it in the oven, whatever. So yeah, you're gonna see over time, I'm gonna do doughs for the freezer, I'm gonna do meals, just all kinds of stuff. So I figured I'd take you along, share it with you if you're interested. Who knows? I don't know. I know I like to watch them because it gives me many ideas. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll share all these meals with you. Hopefully you get some ideas, and hopefully I get them all done in time before the baby comes. Oh, and a lot of these meals are just me using things around the house that we have to make. I didn't go out to buy all this canned stuff, all these sauces, gravies, stuff like this. I mean, it was everything we had basically besides the meat. And I'm just using up what we have because I don't want to spend $1 million to do this, but at the same time, I want to have it done. And here we go to make our pizza dough. My goal was to get 10 of them in the freezer, and I got 10 in the freezer. So we do 1.5 cups of warm water, 3 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. This is actually Jamarelle Stewart's recipe, but then I add some extras. Like right here, I add a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and that's just how we prefer it. So her recipe actually calls for 3 cups of whole wheat flour and 2.25 teaspoons of yeast. And so my first one I did like this, and I realized it was so sticky. So one of these is 3 cups. Every other one that I do, I did 4 cups, and it turned out so much better. So I suggest 4 cups. Her recipe does call for 4 cups of flour if you use regular flour, but she said she cuts it to 3 cups if she does whole wheat. And I've just noticed that every time I do it, it's always been sticky. So I did it 4 cups, and oh my gosh, so much better. And yeah, I just repeated that 10 times, and I put 10 of those bad boys in the freezer, which should give us at least 5 dinners because we usually make about 2 a piece. And now moving on to our sweet potato pies. These are actually Fallon Moss's recipe that she shared, and I tried it one time and I have used it ever since. You use 2 cups of cooked and mashed sweet potatoes, and then you just blend those up until they're nice and smooth. And then you add a 1/4 cup of melted butter and keep blending that up. And again, just until it's smooth. And then you add 2 eggs and 1 cup of milk, like together at the same time. And then again, mix it up. And then when that's all good and mixed, you add 1.5 cups of sugar and 1 pack of vanilla pudding. I know it sounds weird, but it's delicious, I promise. And you just, again, mix it up. And then you pour it in 2 unbaked pie crusts, is what she calls for, her recipe. But the first time I made it, I didn't have that. I had these graham cracker crusts. So that was how the first time I ever made them, we made them in that. And we loved it. Like the cinnamon, I don't even know, the honey, whatever's in those crusts. Oh my gosh, it adds a little bit extra to these pies. Try it in the graham cracker crust if you haven't, because they are amazing. So I got 2 of those to put into the freezer along with 10 pizza doughs, and oh my gosh, it feels good. Now here I'm going to make chocolate chip cookie dough for the freezer. I had wanted to make a lot of cookie doughs for the freezer, but you'll see at the end, I think I talk about it. I ran out of freezer room, so this is all we've got for now is chocolate chip cookie dough in there, which is fine. So I'm making 4 batches of it, but I make 2 at a time. So here you're going to see me doing it double,
but I'll have the actual recipe down below. You just do 8 tablespoons of salted butter mixed with half a cup of white sugar and a 1/4 cup of packed light brown sugar. Mix it up, then add 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Again, mix it up, and then add 1½ cups of flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix it till it's all blended up, and then you fold in 3/4 cup of chocolate chips, or however much you want to add. You let your heart decide on that. No one can tell you how many chocolate chips to add to your cookies. I used 1 bag for all 4 little doughs there. So, and then I just put them in little freezer bags. I actually only froze 3, and I ended up making 1 big cookie out of it, because if you followed me for a while, you know I'm not a fan of making cookies. I don't know, I just get lazy standing there. For some reason, I can't even explain it. It annoys me to make cookies. And so a lot of you were like, just put it on a cookie sheet and make a big cookie. So I did, and it was fabulous. And now here, these are our homegrown chickens, and we had not used any of them. We did about 30 something chickens. I think 36 we processed. So I was like, you know what? I want to get a bunch of cooked shredded chicken in the freezer, so I'm going to use these bad boys, because we don't really need to eat 30 whole cooked chickens. So I'm going to use them for shredded meat. So that's exactly what I did. So a couple of them I just used beef broth, only because I had some up here in the fridge. That's why I used beef broth. And I used salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and seasoned them and threw those in the bag. And then here I'm gonna season these couple with Italian dressing, because I was gonna say seasoning, but dressing, whatever, same thing. I mean, not really, but you know, who cares? So chicken marinated in Italian dressing is so good. I don't know what we'll use it for, but I had that bottle in the fridge, and I didn't even have any plans on doing Italian chicken, but I opened the fridge and saw that half empty bottle, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to marinate some chicken. So I did. And then this day I also got out the Instant Pot and started doing chickens, because I wanted to do lots of shredded chicken for the freezer. So I had the Instant Pot going and the crock pot, and I just kept going all day long. So I repeated this process over and over and over. I think I did 10 or 12 chickens. I don't get that much out of each chicken because they were small chickens, but I did a couple different sauces. We did cooked shredded chicken, Italian cooked shredded chicken, barbecue chicken. I ended up doing buffalo ranch chicken. And here's just a couple glimpses of me putting things in the freezer as I was going. There's the pizza dough, the pies, the chicken. And then I went back. Here's more chicken. I didn't go to the store for any of this. I used what I had. I found that medium wing sauce in the fridge. It was like half a bottle, and I was like, that would be really good to make a bag of buffalo chicken. I could use it for buffalo chicken pizzas or something, pasta, anything. So that's why I made that, because I saw that buffalo sauce sitting in the fridge. I didn't really have plans on any of this stuff. The Italian chicken, I didn't really have plans for that, but I saw the Italian in there, and I was like, yes, we're going to do it. So that's just how I went about this. I didn't buy any ingredients for any of it, besides going to Sam's Club to buy the meat. And speaking of Sam's Club, here we go. As soon as we got home from Sam's Club, I took the video to show the haul, and then I got to work before anything got in the freezer. I just went ahead and I was like, I'm going to put them right in bags and we can take them to the freezer then. So we did barbecue meatballs. We also ended up doing chili sauce and grape jelly. I did chili sauce and barbecue. And then I also ended up doing a bag of pasta sauce, because I was kind of running out of other sauces to use, and like I said, I just used what we had in the pantry and downstairs on our shelves. I didn't go buy any of this, so I was just using up things in the fridge, things that we had, making things up as I went, just going along, plugging along with all of it. Going along with what we had, here's me doing the pasta sauce ones, and I had a couple cans of that. I think it's basil, oregano, and something diced tomatoes, so I went ahead and threw them in with this. There's a couple other recipes I think coming up that I throw that in too, just because I wanted to use up those cans. Now here's one of the recipes. I wanted to do creamy ranch chicken and creamy ranch pork chops, but I ended up running out of ranch seasoning, so I didn't ever get to the pork chops at all. And that's fine. Maybe later down the road when I have more freezer space, I'll be able to do it, but right now I don't. Our freezers got full after all this. So I'm just using that bagged chicken from Sam's Club. Here, the bagged chicken breast, to make all these dump and go meals. Now the salsa chicken, I had half a jar of salsa in the fridge, and so I added rotel to it. I added sweet corn and black beans to it. Usually when I do salsa chicken, I just do a jar of salsa and chicken, and that's it. But because I had all these other things ready and available, I went ahead and threw them in, and I figured, hey, it won't hurt, it'll taste great, it'll be just a little bit extra, more filling, so I can't wait to eat that. And chicken fajitas were another thing I really hadn't planned on, but I had these pepper and onion bags in the fridge, and I had more bags of peppers and onions that I had cut up from fresh right here. So I added a bag of each one of those to each bag, and I had these fajita seasoning packets downstairs. So I was like, we're gonna go ahead and use all this up. So we did. Now for the Mississippi chicken, I did plan on doing these, and I had planned on doing Mississippi roast too, but again, I ran out of ranch, so I never got to the roasts. And with our Mississippi chicken, when I make it, I use chicken gravy or poultry gravy instead of the au jus, and that's the only thing I do different. Now at the end, I will obviously have to add a stick of butter when we throw it in the crock pot, but yeah. I'm excited for these again, just like the other one. I can't wait to start eating on these meals, and let me tell you, it's hard not to want to pull them out now because some of them are so good and we haven't had them in so long, and some days I'm just tired. And the salsa verde chicken, another thing, I was like, I've never made this before, but I have this jar, I need to use it up. Why don't I add some black beans and corn? And I did with all these that I threw the black beans in. I did drain and rinse them just right in the can. I opened up the can, added some water, and swished it around a couple times till it ran clear. Now the chicken gravy, I just used cream of chicken. I think I used 2 cans right there, poultry gravy, and minced onion and chicken breast. Oh, and parsley too. And we had Alfredo sauce and broccoli downstairs in the freezer, so I went ahead and threw together a couple bags of chicken broccoli Alfredo. Now for our beef tips and gravy, again, not really following any recipe, just using up things that we have. So I used beefy onion packets with cream of mushroom soup, and then I ended up throwing some beef broth in there with those beef tips. Now these Italian sausage and pepper meals, I made 2. I had these sausages in the freezer for a while, so I pulled them out, broke them up, and just added them to the bags, along with these diced tomatoes again, and I added the peppers and onions bag, and I think I added some of the peppers and onions that I had cut up on my own too, and added the sausages, and now those are in the fridge or freezer as well. And of course, I had to stop in the middle of this and take a video of the sky. I mean, look at that. It was just so pretty. And this, we bought the big 5-pound bags of cheese, and so I just sat and broke them up. We had mozzarella, Mexican, and cheddar, and I got those in the freezer as well. Another thing that we had gotten at Sam's Club was these chicken drumsticks. Again, I hadn't planned on it, but they were actually marked down, so we got 2 packs of them. So I put smokehouse maple seasoning and barbecue sauce on 1 pack, broken into 2. Now for the second pack, I broke that into 2 as well, and I just did like honey, garlic, brown sugar, soy sauce kind of, and I used minced garlic, soy sauce, honey, brown sugar, and again, just really wasn't following any recipe besides, wow, this all sounds good together. I know they all go together. I've made things like this before, so those, I don't know. I hope they turn out good. They sound really good. So I actually ended up getting 4 meatloafs done and in the freezer. So I did about 1.5 pounds of meat, 1 egg. I seasoned it with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and then minced onion in each, just because I didn't feel, this was the end of the night and we had done Sam's Club and everything and I was just done. So I put minced onion instead of regular onion. And then I used mustard, Worcestershire, ketchup, and a little bit of brown sugar in each, mixed them up, and just kind of shaped them and put them, and breadcrumbs. Shaped them and put them in freezer bags, so now we have 4 meatloaves in the freezer ready to go whenever we're ready to cook them. And I just, again, repeated this process 4 separate times. And then those meatloaves were made out of one almost 10-pound tube. And so that was, this meat right here is what was left out of the 10-pound tube. That's wilder. After I had made the meatloaves, I just had this little bit left. So I just cooked it up, and I think I added minced onion. I don't remember if I did or not. It doesn't really look like it. Maybe I didn't. But anyway, I got 2 cooked ground beef bags out of that. So I was looking for ways to batch cook ground beef versus just standing on the stove. And I looked up on the internet, and it said you can do 4 pounds in your Instant Pot. Add whatever seasonings you want. So I added salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, or minced onion. And it said to add a cup of beef broth. So I did. And it says you cook it on 5 minutes, high pressure, then release the pressure, break it up again. Well, break it up and then cook it for 5 minutes. And then when that's done, release the pressure. Break it up again. Cook it for another 10 minutes. And then release the pressure again. And then it should be done. Well, I did that and it didn't quite work that well. I ended up having to cook it a little bit longer each time, or in each Instant Pot, because I got 2 of my Instant Pots going. And for some reason, my black Instant Pot did not work anywhere near as good as my white one. Look, I had my husband come in and break that up because I feel short in the kitchen with the Instant Pots. But anyway, I had both the Instant Pots going, and for some reason, my original one worked better than my new one. But in this black one, I also added taco seasoning because I wanted to make a bunch of taco meat for the freezer. So I was just like, I wonder if I can just throw this in there with it. So I did, and I tried, and it worked. It just had to cook a lot longer than the internet said. So don't believe everything you read on the internet. But yeah, so I cooked for 5 minutes, broke it up, cooked for another 10, broke it up, and I think I did another 5 or another 4 on the blue one, and then on this one I had to do like another 10. I'm not sure why there was such a difference in the Instant Pots, but just keep cooking it until it's done. It works, and it works better in this one for some reason. Now we got 2 of these big pork loins, and I had planned on originally making a lot of meals out of them. One of them I end up just cutting up and putting into bags, which you'll see later. But I do make a couple meals out of this one right here. I made 4 different meals. So the first meal that I made was just pork and gravy, I think. I used an onion packet, a Lipton onion packet, poultry gravy mix, and 2 cans of cream of mushroom. I also ended up doing brown sugar balsamic because I found that balsamic vinegar right there, and I was like, what am I going to use that for? So I'm just trying this. So I did that and some brown sugar, and I think I put an onion packet in there. Yeah. Again, just using up stuff. And I put bacon bits in there because I'm like, bacon makes everything better. Am I right? Here I'm making the cranberry orange bacon pork loin that we love. It's so good. Whole berry cranberry sauce, mandarin oranges. Actually, I think I really use orange juice, but I had these, so I threw these in there as well, or instead. And bacon bits. So good. So good. And I didn't put any directions on any of these, I realize, but just cook it on low, high, however long you want any of them until it's done. Just don't eat raw meat. After the taco meat had cooled, I ended up putting them into bags, and I think I got 3 bags out of it. I don't know. Yeah, 3. That's what I got. And we don't use a lot of taco meat on taco nights because a lot of my kids don't eat taco meat, the ground beef. They just eat refried beans. So we don't need as much taco meat as, I guess, a normal family of 7 would. But here I'm making, oh my gosh, I can't speak, cranberry chicken, French dressing, and you usually use whole berry cranberry sauce, but I had used the only 2 cans I had on that pork loin, so I just used jellied cranberry, and I'm sure the same taste will be there. And I also put bacon bits in it. So my second pork loin I just cut up and put into freezer bags, and look at all those freezer meals. So here I am making sloppy joes out of some of that ground beef, and I totally messed up. I was thinking that I was going to get about 5 bags out of it. So I did like the recipe times 5. You can find the recipe down below. But we ended up only getting 3. So I might be pretty strong, but that's okay.
All right, everybody, that was a long couple days, and I had so much more on my list that I really wanted to get done. I wanted to get done some breakfast foods, some waffles, some pancakes, some muffins, stuff like that. But as of right now, we don't have any freezer space left. We went to Sam's Club and got all that meat. We don't have the space. So later on down the road, I might do another postpartum video of me finishing up what I wanted to do. And there was a couple other meals that I wanted to do. I wanted to do Mississippi roasts with those roasts that we got. I wanted to do some creamy ranch pork chops, some creamy Italian pork chops. I wanted to do creamy Italian chicken, but I never went to the store to buy anything, minus us going to Sam's Club. I did have a list of things to get from the grocery store to do these meals, but I never went. I used up stuff that we had around the house. So things changed and I just went with what we had. So I spent a lot less money than I would have doing the meals that I had actually written down. And I'm pleased with what we got. We got plenty of things. Like I said, I might further down the road, once we've gone through the freezer some and more towards when she's due, I might work on some breakfast stuff when we have the freezer space. But other than that, I'm so satisfied with what we've got, and there's plenty in there right now. Let me show you my board. So here I wrote down all the pork meals, the beef meals, the chicken meals that we got done. So there's 35 meals on this board. So we got over a month's worth of meals. Plus I did taco meat, cooked ground beef, and some things that I didn't write down over here. I wrote down on our other board. This is where I keep a list of everything we have in the freezers. So these are actually like dump and go meals, but then we also have the cooked ground beef if I want to throw it in spaghetti sauce one night, or if we want to turn it into chili, or if we want to turn it into, who knows. But I'm satisfied with what I've gotten done so far. Plus the 10 pizza doughs that we did, and oh my gosh, I don't even know what else I did and put in the freezer. It's been a long week. It's been a busy week. And that's why I'm sitting on the couch, because I'm tired. It's been an exhausting weekend. But I'm so thankful that I took the time to do it this week. I'm so thankful I got all that done and prepped and ready for this baby girl. I cannot wait to meet her and hold her. And oh my gosh, she's going to be amazing. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any other ideas, leave them down below. My husband is not a fan of like pre-made meals like lasagna and stuff like that. So we tried to stay away from that. I really just tried to go with dump and go things that you'd be throwing in a crock pot anyway. They're not his favorite, but he definitely prefers those. We had a huge talk about it. So he prefers that kind over me making enchiladas or any of that, because he's really funny about texture and doesn't like things sitting in the freezer getting soggy. I don't blame him. Our whole family is really not a fan of like freezer meals. Like I said, the dump and go for the Instant Pot or crock pot isn't his favorite, but he definitely wanted it done because, you know, I have to have a C-section. It's going to be a long recovery, and he doesn't have very much time off of work. We need something quick, easy, something we can just dump and go and walk away and be done with it. So it'll be fine for a while. We'll be fed no matter if people really like it or not. And that's okay. As long as these bellies are getting full, that's what matters. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you got some kind of inspiration out of it. And I mean, I was doing it anyway. I was like, might as well film it and show everybody what I did. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'll talk to you in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and enjoy these other videos we have coming up for you. Also, you can turn on the red bell notifications so you're notified of every new video we post. Thank you so much.